A fundamental question that is asked by everybody and from every position is that how much water should we drink in a day, and how much water is necessary to keep the kidneys healthy. In this day and age, when we've got lots of information coming off the internet, most of the people are really conscious about their kidneys. We've heard stories about people not drinking enough, having kidney stones, and having all sorts of problems. And so there's always a confusion, irrespective of how much information there is on the net, that how much water one must drink in a day. Some people say 8 glasses, 10 glasses, some say more than that, some say less than that. But the average amount that we hear about is about 8 to 10 glasses of water per day. This doesn't account for the other types of fluids which we take, like tea and coffee and soft drinks, but it's just water that I'm talking about. But the answer to that is that we should not put a number to the amount of water that we take. The reason being very simple, that we are animals, and animals have got a mechanism in their brain, and that mechanism tells us how much water is deficient, how much water we need to drink. And that mechanism is placed in part of the brain which is called as the hypothalamus. So hypothalamus, as the name indicates, it's hypo, it's just below the thalamus. So it's a part of the brain which, amongst other functions which it does, one of the functions is actually that it has got osmoreceptors in it. And these osmoreceptors, they will sense the osmolality of the blood. And osmolality is a combination of the solutes and the solvents. So when it actually checks the osmolality, it tells us whether the blood is thick or whether the blood is thin. If the blood is thick, that means there is less water, and then we get this urge to drink water. And importantly, we have to remember the word urge. See, animals don't drink water just for fun. The animals drink water when they need water. You can place a bucket of water in front of an animal, a cow or a goat, and even if it's scorching outside, the animal will not drink if the osmoreceptors are not stimulated and if they do not have the urge to drink. Man is the only animal in the animal kingdom which has what we call as secondary polydipsia, and that means we drink without the need to drink. So first of all, we have to remember that there is no set number to how many glasses we have to drink. It is that when we have the urge to drink, we can fast all day, 14 hours, 16 or 18 hours without having the urge to drink. And so therefore, it's a body which tells us. The human body is composed of water. 60% of our body weight is water. If somebody weighs 100 kilograms, about 60 kilograms is water. That means 60 liters is in the shape of water. And most of that water is present inside the cells. That means it is intracellular. And the reason why it's placed inside the cells, because it needs to give the cells its shape, and all the transfer mechanism which takes place in the cell is because of that water. It's just like a tennis ball. A tennis ball is round and firm, and it's just like all the cells are. They're round and firm. That's courtesy of the water which is present inside the cells. The remaining part, apart from the 30 liters which is inside the cells, which is critical for our well-being, out of the remaining part, about 5 liters is present in our plasma. That means the blood which is flowing in our circulation, and the remaining is present in the tissues. And this is called as the interstitial fluid. Interstitial, that means inside or in between this tissue. And this is the one which shifts from one segment to the other segment as need be. So if you're thirsty, your plasma volume is going to drop. You sweat, so you lose fluid. You lose fluid from your breath. You see the dogs pant, so they actually lose fluid as well as they lose heat. The fluid in the interstitial compartment that shifts, it goes into your circulation, and then it keeps a balance. It's only when you lose about 5% of your water that you will actually have consequences of that. So do not drink excess water unless it is absolutely necessary. And I'm going to tell you how much water, when we say 8 to 10 glasses of water, how much water does that really mean? Here I've got some bottled water. And if somebody gave you an advice, or the net gave you the advice to drink 10 glasses of water a day, and if you take the average of about 300 ml per glass, this bottle is 500 ml. So that means you will drink about 3 liters of water. So this is 6 bottles. First of all, you're being asked to drink 6 bottles of water in a day, which probably may not be possible. On top of that, we drink coffee, we drink soda, we drink teas, plus lots of other things, juices, etc., etc. So the total daily amount of water that we will consume is going to be a lot. But do we really need to drink all that? We don't. As I said, 200 liters of water that passes through the kidneys per day, and just 1.5 liters is in the form of urine. The rest is reabsorbed. It goes back into the circulation. If all of that went out, then obviously we'll be dehydrated from birth. But can you physically drink all that? Well, although it is advised, but it's not possible. Here I've got like a very crude example of it. It's an experiment. This funnel, imagine this is the kidney, and this is the urine which is going to come out of it from the other end. And this is the amount of water which I'm drinking. If you see that when I drink lots and lots of water, the kidney is going to be full of water. But look at the amount of urine which is coming out. That is pretty slow, while the kidneys are still full of water. So there is lots of water still up there. The urine formation is pretty low. So what is going to happen? What is going to be the consequence of that? The consequence is the kidneys will swell up. When the kidneys swell up, this is going to hurt. So it may give you a dull ache in the loins. And not only that, ultimately, because of the shear pressure inside the kidneys which builds up, this is going to cause problems with clearance. We know that people who drink lots and lots of water can have problems with clearance, and they can have what we call they have a problem with concentrating their urine ultimately. So you can have problems with the urinary concentration. You can have problems with hypertension because of the sheer swelling of it, and then obviously you can have problems with the renal function as such on a long-term basis. And still we see that the amount of urine is less, and still the top of the funnel is still full. So looking at this, we can see that if we drink water without the urge to drink water, if we drink all this amount of water, this can be harmful to us in the long run. So my advice to you is, please drink water when you have the urge to drink water. There are certain situations where you may have to drink excess water, like people who've got a urinary tract infection, we ask them to drink water. People who've recently had a stone, we ask them to drink water. But do not make a habit of it, of drinking 8 or 10 or 8 or 10 glasses. Nature has given you a mechanism in your hypothalamus which is going to tell you when to drink water. So if you have the urge, drink water, but not otherwise. Thank you.